Hey everyone, welcome back. So, as you all know me by now, my name is Priya Singh Range. I am an assistant professor at the LJ Institute of Physiotherapy. So, in my previous videos, we have been discussing a lot about the electromagnetic spectrum, the physiological effects of heat, the different therapeutic effects of heat. So, moving along in the same path, today we'll be discussing about the physiological and therapeutic effects of infrared radiations. So before beginning with the physiological and therapeutic effects, I would just like to give you a brief idea about what infrared radiations are. So like you have already seen in my video on electromagnetic spectrum, we know that infrared radiations are radiations which lie between the microwave radiations and the red visible radiations on the electromagnetic spectrum. The wavelength ranges around 760 nanometers to 1 millimeter, and IR radiations can be categorized into three different types: IRA, IRB and IRC, based on the wavelength that they possess. Infrared radiations, when we talk about them, the depth of penetration is not more than 1 centimeter. Since the depth of penetration is small, infrared radiations can be considered to be a type of superficial heating modality. That is, the impact or the effects of infrared radiations are seen only up to the superficial epidermis. Now, when these radiations are absorbed in the superficial epidermis, they have a direct effect on the cutaneous blood vessels as well as the cutaneous nerve receptors. So now moving on to the physiological effects. The main physiological effects of infrared radiations are cutaneous vasodilatation, sweating, thermal sensations, increase in metabolism and certain chronic changes. When we discuss about cutaneous vasodilatation that occurs secondary to infrared radiations, this cutaneous vasodilatation usually requires a latent period. The erythema that you see in infrared radiations usually takes a latent period of 1 to 2 minutes to appear, and it usually lasts up to 30 minutes post the stopping of the infrared radiation treatment. The cutaneous vasodilatation that is seen with IR application can be due to the direct effect of IR radiations on the blood vessels. This direct effect is a consequence actually of the stimulation of polymodal receptors in the superficial epidermis, and via the polymodal receptors there is activation of the axon reflex mechanism, which leads to a direct effect on the blood vessels, leading to cutaneous vasodilatation. Another mechanism that can lead to cutaneous vasodilatation after the application of infrared radiation can be the release of certain chemical vasodilators in the area where this is applied. These vasodilators can be histamine or other similar substances. Because of the release of these chemicals, there is a direct effect on the blood vessels, and the blood vessels undergo dilatation. The erythema that is seen in infrared radiations is quite unsimilar to the erythema that is seen with UVR radiations. With IR radiations, the erythema is more irregular and patchy because it usually occurs secondary to arteriolar vasodilation, unlike the erythema that is seen in UVR, which is secondary to dilatation of the capillaries. So that is the main difference between the erythema that is seen in IR and that in UVR. Next, moving on to the second physiological effect, which is sweating. As we all know, because of the absorption of heat, there is going to be an impact on the sweat glands, and the activity of the sweat glands is going to increase, leading to increased sweating or profuse sweating. So whenever you have a prolonged application or intense heating due to infrared radiations, the sweat glands are going to be activated and there is going to be an increased sweating in the local area. This increased sweating that occurs leads to more absorption of the infrared radiations, since it leads to surface cooling. The next physiological effect that is seen post the application of IR is thermal sensation. This occurs because of stimulation of the thermal heat receptors in the skin, and the patient becomes aware of the application of IR radiations. Another effect that is seen is the increase in metabolism. Now, this already we have discussed in my previous video, that whenever there is an a chemical reaction that can be accelerated by the application of heat will be accelerated by the application of heat according to the Van 't Hoff's law. So whenever you are applying infrared radiations, there is going to be heating of the tissues, which is going to lead to an increase in the metabolic rate. Another effect that is seen are chronic changes with the application of infrared radiations. Now these chronic changes usually do not occur post treatment for a few sessions. It requires sessions for a longer period, for a longer duration. And these chronic changes usually include destruction of erythrocytes. Because of the destruction of erythrocytes, there is release of certain pigments which leads to brownish discoloration of the skin, which can be seen in tanning. So these were the physiological effects: cutaneous vasodilatation, sweating, thermal sensations, increase in metabolism, and chronic changes, which usually is destruction of erythrocytes leading to brownish discoloration of the skin. Now moving on to the therapeutic uses. So based on the physiological effects, infrared radiations can be used for different therapeutic purposes, the main ones being pain relief. As we have seen earlier that with the application of infrared radiations, there is going to be thermal sensation, which can lead to activation of different mechanisms like pain gate mechanism. It can lead to counter irritation. It can again lead to release of endorphins. Okay, so because of these many mechanisms, ultimately the patient is going to feel a relief in the pain. Also, when we apply infrared radiations, it is going to cause superficial heating, leading to muscle relaxation. This muscle relaxation also helps in relieving the pain. There is also a reduction of muscle spasm, because as we have seen in the physiological effects that it leads to cutaneous vasodilatation. This cutaneous vasodilatation leads to an increase in the blood flow to the local area. With the increase in blood flow to the local area, there is an increase in the amount of oxygen that reaches the tissues. Also, there is an increase in the amount of metabolic waste products that are being removed. Since there is an increase in the removal of waste products, it leads to a reduction in muscle spasm. Another therapeutic purpose of infrared radiation is acceleration of healing and repair. As we have seen that IR application leads to cutaneous vasodilatation, it also leads to an increase in the metabolic rate. Because of these two effects, it is going to cause an increase in the cell membrane permeability. There is going to be an increase in the blood flow, which will bring about an increase in the number of factors of healing that reach the local area, which ultimately leads to an acceleration of healing and leads to an improved rate of repair. Also, it can be used for controlling certain infections like fungal infections. As we know that IR radiation leads to heating. With this heating, there is a certain amount of control of the amount of moisture that is present on the surface of skin. With a reduction in the moist environment of the skin, it can lead to control of fungal infections which are going to thrive in a moist environment. Since we are drying up the skin, the fungal infection, the microorganisms that are going to cause the infection, the fungi, are not able to survive, and hence it controls the infection. Another purpose can be prophylaxis of pressure sores. As we all know that with pressure sores, the main problem is that there is a decrease in the cutaneous blood supply. With IR application, since we are improving the blood supply, it leads to better oxygenation of the tissue, it leads to a better nutritive supply to the tissue, and hence improving the quality of tissue and reducing the chances of development of pressure sores. Another area where IR can be used is reabsorption of edema. For reabsorption of edema, however, we need to use IR application for all the different surfaces and not just one particular surface. So if you are using, say, an IR bulb, we will be able to apply IR only to one particular aspect of the body part and not to the entire body part. So it is better to use certain units which comprise of chambers where you can apply IR radiations from all the different aspects, cover all the different aspects. Okay, so when we are using IR for reabsorption of edema or reduction of edema, we need to use chamber like units. And how are they going to impact? The main cause here can be the increase in the blood supply. Since there is an increase in blood supply, there is a reduction in muscle spasm, you're getting a better pumping action, which leads to more reabsorption of edema. But what needs to be concerned here more is that we need only mild heating, since only mild heating will give you reabsorption of edema. If there is intense heating, it will lead to exudation of fluid into the tissues, hence increasing the edema rather than reducing it. Also, IR radiations can be used as a precursor to other treatments. Like we know that whenever we are applying heat, there is going to be an increase in the extensibility of the tissues. The same thing occurs with IR application, that it leads to an improvement in the extensibility of tissues. Hence, it can be used prior to certain techniques like stretching, mobilization, etc. Also, we know that it leads to pain relief and it leads to reduction of muscle spasm. Hence, it can also be used as a precursor to treatments which are going to induce more pain, like mobilization. And it can also be used for improving blood supply and can be used as a precursor to treatments like electrical stimulation, since we are going to stimulate the tissues better if the tissues are more supplied with blood. So these are the different therapeutic uses. IR can be used for pain relief, it can be used for reduction of muscle spasm, acceleration of healing and repair, control of infections, prophylaxis of pressure sores, reabsorption or reduction of edema, and as a precursor to other treatments. Infrared radiations can be used as a superficial heating modality for various therapeutic benefits such as pain relief, muscle relaxation, improving rate of healing, etc., as they can cause cutaneous vasodilatation, increase the metabolic rate, and stimulate the cutaneous neuroreceptors. So these were the physiological and therapeutic uses of infrared radiations. Hope I was able to explain them to you in a good way. Thank you.